You have them silenced with God-given authority. Yes, sir. Let me say it louder. For my chosen ones in the back. Listen, family. You have them silenced with God-given authority. Somebody drop in the comments and say, God gave me power. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say, God gave me power. Now, let me elaborate on this, y'all. What I mean by God-given authority, this means that he has given you the ability to have dominion here on earth, right? He has given you the ability to speak, preach, prophesy. He has given you the ability to have control in your industry, in your niche, all right, within your family. I need y'all to understand something. That is God-given authority, which means you can't be out here just moving, willy-nilly, right? You can't just be out here moving frivolously, okay? Because you have a responsibility. What people fail to realize, y'all, is that to whom much is given, much is required, right? Let me say that once again, y'all. To whom much is given, much is required, which means you have more responsibility than the average man or woman. You have to take more accountability than the average man or woman. Why? Because he made you special. Not special enough to where you don't have to go through no trials and tribulation, no crisis, no hardship or misfortune, but special because you were designed to get through it, right? Somebody drop in the comments and say, I will get through. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say, I will get through. Now, for example, y'all, when you talk about having authority and you can't just abuse it or misuse it, think about being the manager of a warehouse or the supervisor of a warehouse and the manager of a retail store, okay? Even being the boss of your own business, whatever the case is, you can't just be abusing your authority, although people do it, right? It's thousands of people, millions of people who took advantage of people because they knew they needed a job. They knew that they needed the money. So they took advantage of them sexually, mentally, emotionally, extorted them in a kind way, right? However, y'all, this is why when you have this type of authority, granted from God, you can't abuse it. You can't misuse it. You are supposed to be uplifting and helping the people. All right? Somebody drop that down below in the comments. Help the people. Now, I know everybody don't got that mindset or that mentality, but within the rich mentality, family, y'all, we all do. I'm just going to be honest, right? That's what I stand on. But sticking to the point, you have them silenced with God-given authority. I'm going to give y'all this, y'all, and then we'll get directly into this video. I was watching a video on Facebook, and it was a young girl, right? Specifically a young black girl, and she was at like some type of aquarium, and she just was full of energy, very vibrant. Some of y'all probably seen it, but it was like a seal, a black seal to be exact, in the water, and she was just moving the seal like this. So every time she moved her hand, the seal just move around, right? She'll just move around, or whenever she moved, the seal will move around, and so she'll run to the other side. The seal will follow her over there to the other side. Then she'll move her hand around again, and the seal is literally taking her direction. Literally taking her direction. And then you got some other kids over there trying to steal her shine, imitate her swag. They tried to do everything she did, but the seal still seen her. That is God-given authority. No matter how many people try to, interfere with your gift or interfere with your talent, interfere with your wave, okay, try to dilute it. It doesn't matter if they try to stand in the way, yell and get people's attention. You still gonna stand out regardless, right? And that's what I thought about when I seen that little young girl. I said, man, that's spiritual, right? I was like, that's spiritual. To have all them little kids out there, even adults, and she doing that, that was some type of God-given authority and power, okay? But understand what I'm saying, y'all. You have them silenced with that God-given ability and authority. They can't say nothing to you. They can't move you out the way. You see where I'm going with this? It's nothing that they can do to take you off of your throne. All right? It is already decreed that you was going to sit on the throne, and that's just the way it is, y'all. But as y'all see, family, we are right here on the great couch, the legendary great couch, y'all. All right, I don't know if it's legendary yet, but we gonna get there. I'm gonna just keep speaking it and putting it in the atmosphere, right? But anyway, y'all, yes, y'all, we're here on the great couch. I know y'all see this video. If you're watching this video, then it's gonna be out a little bit more later. And the reason why, y'all, is because your boy had to do some regular human things, okay? And honestly, some of these things I should have already done. Y'all can hold me accountable in the comments. But today, y'all, I had to go to the hospital, right? Because y'all remember last year I told y'all I was diagnosed, or maybe like 10, 11 months ago, I told y'all I was diagnosed with pre-diabetes. So now I went back so I can check and see, did it go to type 2 or is your boy down, right? So I'm gonna keep y'all on the update with that. Also, y'all, that had to do my taxes. Yeah, your boy gotta do his taxes. The deadline is April the 15th, right? The deadline is April the 15th, and that's tomorrow. So yeah, y'all know I'm gonna be late for my own funeral. Okay, I just can't seem to be on time, right? Like some of y'all to my lives, but we ain't gonna speak about it, right? We ain't gonna speak about it. But anyway, y'all. Yeah, y'all, so I had to take care of some real life things, okay, and of course your boy had to eat. I had some Willie's coming from the famous Mexican restaurant Willie's, y'all. Yeah, I had the Baja burrito bowl, where you got the burrito in the middle, and then you got like the sides. You know, my sides was black beans, lettuce, I had queso, I had like some red sauce, I had some corn, and I had like, I want to say some shredded cheese on there. Like I had some stuff on there, y'all. So your boy had a good little dinner, you know, but just giving y'all the update of why I'm coming on here so late. But anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and get directly into it. So y'all leave a thumbs up on this video, as well as subscribe to the channel. Yes, sir. Not only that, y'all, but y'all be sure to ring my bell so you could be notified after every single video I post. Let's do it, family. So number one, we're gonna get right into it. The reason why you have them silenced with that God-given authority is because you are walking in faith and humility. All right, let me say it louder. For my chosen ones in the back. Listen, family, you are walking in faith and humility, all right? Let's just speak about faith for a second. Like when you have the mustard seed, y'all, that size of that faith that you are walking in, you are automatically triumphing the average human beings out here. You are automatically triumphing humanity. Everybody don't have faith. A lot of people are walking off of what they see, right? They're walking off by sight. They're walking off of what's going on currently, and they're not walking by faith. Faith is the evidence of things unseen and the substance of things hoped for. So if you are doing that, you're automatically above other individuals, and not above because you're better than them, but you are above them spiritually, because if you do not have faith, then you don't have anything. You know, when Jesus called Peter to walk out of the boat in that terrible storm, you know, at first it was working because he had faith. And the moment he looked back, and it was a clear indication that he lost his faith, right? Jesus said, "Oh, ye of little faith." Like, you have small faith. But see, when you got that faith, y'all, you silence them, because that gives you authority. You know, take example for a person who, you know, put their all into their business. Like they put their all into their career, right? And let's just say they have faith. And we're going to step aside from the career. Shout out to you if you have a career, but we just going to say business because, you know, I want to speak about something that takes faith to do. Anybody can have a job or a career, but a lot of people can't have a business or, you know, believe in their talent or gift. So we're going to keep it a business. So anyway, so let's just say, you know, this person has a business, and within their business, you know, it takes them having to have the mindset of a CEO. You got to do the same thing that the man who created Walmart. I know his last name end with Wall or something like that. But anyway, you got to have the same mindset as the man who created Tesla, which was Elon Musk. You got to have the same mindset of the man who created Amazon, which is Jeff Bezos, right? Everybody don't have that. When they started off small. When it came to Jeff Bezos, he started off in his garage. What are you saying? You got to have a certain level of faith. If you don't have that faith, then you're not going to be able to build anything big. If you think that he didn't have no type of faith that Amazon would be big as it is, shipping worldwide, you got to be crazy. You got to be crazy. And you're going to silence family members when when you begin to build your business and it's actually prospering. You're going to silence friends who said that ain't going to work. You're going to silence your haters who was at school and said that you couldn't do nothing. You're going to silence them because you have God-given authority. And a clear indication of that is you are walking in faith. A lot of times we don't know how we're going to make it happen. We just make it happen, right? A lot of times we don't know how we gonna make it happen. We just make it happen. Like I remember, y'all, when I was a kid, my mom, she would cook us noodles and sausages, y'all, right? Noodles and sausages. And for those who've been following me know, if you know, right? But noodles and sausages, sometimes, and I'm not bragging about it, but it's like she didn't know how she was gonna feed us sometimes, but she made it happen off of faith. Right? Now, when you step into humility, this means that you don't mind embarrassing yourself. You don't mind stepping out on faith. You don't mind stepping out on a ledge or stepping out on the edge. You don't mind. You know why? Because that humility in the back of your mind is telling you at some point they're going to honor me. Y'all, I'm sure when somebody said, I'm going to come out with FUBU, they were like, FUBU? They laughed at them. FUBU? You gonna have FUBU? You tripping, bro. Like, you tripping. See, it takes a person to have humility in order to create and start something new, right? You gotta have humility to believe in yourself. You have to have humility to love yourself. You have to have humility to follow the voice of God. You gotta have humility. And if you don't, then you're not gonna be able to thrive in your God-given authority. You're not going to be able to thrive in your God-given authority. So understand something, y'all. We were all brought here to be more than just, teachers and brought here to do more than just have a child and die, pay bills. We were brought here to do more than just be average citizens, right? Like, we was brought here to have authority. And let me say this, even if you are a teacher, it is okay to be a teacher, but what if you were brought here to have authority, not only as a teacher, but in a specific industry as an expert? You see how that sounds, y'all? It's a little bit more than just being a teacher on a regular salary. You just got this class. Always make an impact, no matter if it's 1 or 10 people. But the point of what I'm saying, y'all, is that we were brought here to have God-given authority. He gave it to us. And a part of that authority, or recognizing that you have that authority, is by stepping into your humility. So number 1 is walking in faith and humility. Walking in faith and humility. Number 2 is tapping into your gift. That's number 2, y'all. Tapping into your gift. Like, when you tap into your gift, you realize literally your superpower. When you tap into your gift, you realize what it is that you can do special. Like, you discover what you are outside of what they have told you. See, when a bird tap into their gift, which they do it automatically, they realize that they can fly, right? When a lion tap into his gift, he realized that he can naturally hunt. When a cheetah tap into their gift, they realize that they can run extremely fast. Why haven't you tapped into yours? See, when you tap into your gift, you don't have to learn how to do what God has already placed in you to do. Let me say that once again, y'all. You don't have to learn what it is that God has placed in you to do. You just got to tap in. Somebody drop that down below in the comments. Tap in. You got to tap into your gift, because this is what's going to usher you in the presence of the great kings, queens, emperors, pharaohs, those who are in high rank positions, right? Like, your gift can be singing, your gift can be painting, coloring, your gift can be speaking, your gift can be counseling. Like, someone is going to need your gift, right? Somebody drop that down below in the comments. They need me. The problem is, y'all, a lot of people don't feel like they are needed. A lot of people feel like they are just chips off of the old blocks. My mama didn't make it, so I know I ain't gonna make it. My daddy didn't do anything but go to prison and sell drugs, so I ain't gonna do nothing but go to prison and sell drugs. No, that's not the truth. The truth is, you have a gift and you're not tapping in, and you are abusing it by not opening up in front of the world. All right, open your gift. Number 3, y'all. This right here is big, okay? I'm gonna break this down without going into a long rant, y'all. But number 3 is being fruitful, multiplying, replenishing, and subduing, okay? It's all one. Being fruitful, multiplying, replenishing, and subduing, okay? This is all in Genesis, right? This is all in Genesis. Make sure you pull out your Bibles, or y'all can look it up on your Googles, go to Bible Gateway, whatever the case is. But number 3 is being fruitful, multiplying, replenishing, and subduing. This is the assignment that God has given us, right, in order to tap into our gift, you know. So let's just start with being fruitful, right? Understand something, y'all. When you're being fruitful, you are being productive, right? You are being productive. McDonald's produced a product that is McDonald's, okay? I'm sorry, y'all. That is Big Mac, all right? McDonald's produced a product that is McDonald's. No, McDonald's produced a product, and that is Big Mac, all right? Burger King produced a product, and that is Whopper. KFC produced a product, that is 7 Spices. Reno produced a product, that is the Rich Mentality book. Y'all be sure to go get that book, by the way. But the point is, okay, when you're being fruitful, you are producing. Somebody drop in the comments and say, produce something. You got to produce something, whether that's a digital product, whether that is a book, whether that is a t-shirt company, you know, you're producing a new recipe for cookies or cakes. You got to produce something, all right? Then you got to multiply something. This is what's giving you the authority. Keep that in mind. But you have to multiply something. So if I produce a product and I have one t-shirt, is that gonna make me $1 million? Nope. I would love to see a person make $1 million off of a t-shirt talking about, hey, I got me a t-shirt, y'all. I just produced a product. No, you got to produce a product, and then you got to multiply the product, right? So I got 10 shirts that y'all going for $20. That's $200. Now, of course, you got to do your math on the overhead and how much more you got to put into manufacturing and what your profit margins are and stuff like that. But the point is, y'all, you had to multiply it to make more. Now, this is where the fun starts, okay? For some people, they give up right here. But you got to replenish, which means distribute. This is why you have artists who sign distribution deals, because they just want to be lazy and do their music instead of doing the music and learning how to market and distribute the music. So with that being said, that t-shirt that you produced, yep, and then you multiplied it, yep, you got to figure out how to distribute it. This is why internet is beautiful. This is why social media is great, because you have that access to millions of people out the country, in the country, you know. And so once you distribute it, where you take those 10 shirts, right, and then you've made $200 off of them, maybe you can buy 20 shirts, and then you can flip that and then make, 40 shirts, and then you do that again and do it again and do it again, and next thing you know, you have an entire clothing store. But this happens when you multiply. When you figure out how to do this, you realize that, oh, hold on, I got it. He gave me authority. Okay. And the last thing is to subdue. Subdue means to have dominion. Subdue means to have dominion, which means you are dominating your peers, you are dominating your partners, you are dominating everybody who is within this industry, right? What people don't realize is they had to shut down Bill Gates' Microsoft business, right? And they wanted a piece of it because he was dominating. They told him that, hey man, not one man can have this much power. Before there was Apple, y'all, before Steve Jobs, there was Bill Gates who created Microsoft. Yeah, y'all, and Microsoft was a tough cookie. I'm just gonna be honest. Everybody had Microsoft. Go back, think back to your early 90s and your maybe even the 80s, early 2000s. Think about all them Microsoft computers you seen. That was Bill Gates, a powerful man. But he had realized something. He became fruitful, he multiplied, replenished, and he subdued the market. What are you gonna do? Number 4, y'all, overcoming evil. Overcoming evil, family. Like when you silence them with God's giving authority, this means that you understand how to overcome evil. You know, that woman who wants you to fall for her by lusting after her, knowing that is wrong, when you overcome that evil, that is that God-given authority. He said that you would not be shut down by the devil's tricks. You would not be taken advantage of by his henchmen. You just won't. You have the ability to overcome evil, right? That man, maybe he has everything that you want, but you can sense and discern that he just wants something from you. So he has everything that you want, but he only wants something from you. He don't necessarily desire you to be his wife or be much more. He desires you to be something for pleasure, fun, which means he's playing with your heart. But guess what? When God give you that authority, you understand how to overcome evil. Simple as that, y'all. All right. Next thing, family, is going to be number 5. Doors opened by God. Okay. Doors opened by God. You know, when God opened those doors, y'all, can't nobody close them, right? It says in the scriptures, y'all, that, God will open doors that no man can close. Doesn't matter. You get the new opportunity. When God opened that door, you're going to have the opportunity. When God opened up a door for that marriage, it doesn't matter if family is against it, if friends are against it. It doesn't matter who's against it. When God opened those marriage doors for you, they can't close them. The only way they're going to close is if you want them to close. If you mess it up. And even still, he will turn your mistake into a miracle. We talking heavy, y'all. He will turn your mistake into a miracle. So let's be honest about this. When those doors are opened by God, this is a clear indication that you have God-given authority. You know, I'll never forget, y'all, going to my auntie house, right? I got my little cousins over there, and, you know, they playing, not trying to let me inside the house. I'm like, hey, man, let me in, auntie, so I can come in. And they playing, you know, kids being kids, right? And so I'm sitting on the porch, and then when auntie pulled up, she said, why they ain't let you in? I said, they playing, they ain't letting me in, right? Man, number one, I think they got a whipping it. Looking back on it, y'all, I think they got a whipping. But the point is that she opened up the door for me. I had that authority, you know, not necessarily authority over the house, but authority to get in, right? No matter how much they tried to keep the door closed, no matter how much they were playing or whatever the case was, they couldn't stop me from coming in. I still came in, right? And she fed me good. But the point was, y'all, is that no matter who tried to keep those doors closed, when you have authority, they gonna open for you regardless, okay? The careers, the jobs, the business, okay? The opportunities, the resources, they're gonna all open up to you. This is how you know you have God-given authority. But more importantly, they are silenced by the God-given authority that you have, okay? With that being said, family, y'all already know how we do. Let's do this recap and then we'll conclude this video. So number 1, y'all, you are walking in faith and humility. All right. The average person is not doing that. Number 2, you're tapping into your gift. All right. Once again, the average person is not doing that. Number 3, You're being fruitful, multiplying, replenishing, and subduing the market, the earth, whatever you are around. You are dominating. Number 4, y'all, overcoming evil. It's not easy to get you, right? It's not easy to manipulate you. It's just not easy. And number 5, y'all, the doors opened by God, family. Doors are opened by God. Listen, family, y'all already know how we do. Y'all make sure y'all check out any one of my Yes Sir t-shirts. Book a one-on-one session with me. Don't forget the Yes Sir hoodies too, y'all. All right. Of course, book that one-on-one session with me. Limited time offer only. Be sure to check out any one of my books. And of course, y'all, enroll into my social influence course. I'm going to catch y'all in the next video. Y'all keep a rich mentality. Peace.